G'day viewers, we've got yet another video on work sites and detours for cyclists and safety issues. And this one is for the WA Public Transport Authority and possibly WorkSafe. Now, if the PTA has got a safety audit team that can look into it, that's all good. Otherwise, I think WorkSafe should have a look at what's going on here. Now, a bit of context, the principal shared path has been blocked at Daglish station for some work this week. They've had some contractors that needed to get access to the rail corridor, moving machinery and trucks and stuff across the PSP, so they've closed it off. Yep, all good. And that meant that cyclists and pedestrians have had to make a brief detour along Stubbs Terrace, either on the road or on the footpath on the other side of the road. Not an issue. You know, PSPs have to be closed sometimes for works like this. The issue is whether the detour has been set up safely for vulnerable road users. And in my opinion, the detour for cyclists this week has been confusing, shambolic and dangerous. I managed to ride into an active work site where apparently there were trucks and machinery operating because there were absolutely zero controls put over a maintenance driveway by the traffic controllers. And that's why I think the PTA or WorkSite or WorkSafe should be investigating these breaches. Because you would think that if you're going to close a principal shared path, well, cycle path, you would be paying really close attention to safely detouring cyclists around the worksite, because they're going to be, there's going to be probably quite a lot of them. And they're the vulnerable road users. You know, you've got school kids using this to get to and from school. You have to make sure you're putting in place you've got a really good safety system to take care of them. You've got a really good traffic management plan. Well, here's a map showing what the detour looked like on Monday. The detour or the closure. So there was just a short section of path closed from the car park south for, 100 metres. And what we were directed to do on Monday was to use the access ramp. There's a gateway, at the end of this ramp, which opens up to allow stuff to get on into the rail corridor, and that's where the detour started and finished. If you were heading north towards the city, for instance, there was a sign there telling you to turn left and go out using the ramp to get onto Stubbs Terrace. Okay, that's fine. Except on Monday, there was no signage when you were heading south towards Fremantle to tell you to use this particular ramp. And I did a video on this because I asked the traffic controller on duty, where's the sign telling us to get off the road and back onto the PSP? And she yelled out, use your eyes. It's like, no, we're not putting up any signage to direct you where to use the PSP. Use your eyes, just go down there and use the pram ramp. There was, that was as good as the information got. But of course, this then changed when I came through on Wednesday. They'd actually blocked this, well, they hadn't blocked the ramp off, but they had moved the closure of the PSP further south down to Hickey Avenue. And there was no signage in place to say that this particular access ramp was now closed and we weren't supposed to be using it. And this is where the issue arises. The lack of signage and clear direction from the traffic controllers saying, no, that's an active work site. You can't go in there. You've got to go further down. But, cyclists having no clue as to where they're supposed to be going. At 20 past 11 on Wednesday morning, the detour was absolutely fine. This is how it should have looked all week. When I came off the PSP, well, I was very clearly directed off the PSP here, and you can see on the other side of the road there is some directional signage for pedestrians telling them where they can rejoin the PSP. I mean, it's not cyclists and pedestrians, but hey, it's not bad. At least, cyclists can see these signs and know, okay, I'm supposed to be turning left here using that pram ramp and getting back onto the path. All the signage that was set out here was quite good. They had people out with stop signs, stopping the traffic. This was all good. Now, just up ahead on the right, you can see there's like a yellow bucket thing. That's where the maintenance ramp is. At this time of the day, they'd actually put a path closed sign there to stop people from going in. And, you can see all the machinery they've got around the place and trucks, etc. You can see there's actually a bloke standing there. Presumably his job is to stop people from accidentally going in there. So they've kind of doubled up belt and braces, sign, and someone to actually physically stop you. So this is great. This detour at this time of the day was absolutely fine. Problem is, a couple of hours earlier, it was absolutely nothing like this. And this is where the issues arise. If it had been like this, you would not be watching this video now. G'day people, it's Wednesday and I'm back at Daglish station on the principal shed path going towards Freo, and I can see that once again the footpath is, well, the PSP is closed, and I'm actually going to try using the footpath because I said on Monday that it was too narrow for cyclists to use, so let's check it out. Another thing I said, it'd be nice to have a sign back where I started just to give you some warning that there's a detour up ahead. Ah, look, this footpath is not bad as long as there's no pedestrians coming the other way. It's not super narrow. No, that's actually not too bad. But I wouldn't recommend it. And I'm presuming most cyclists are going to come out here on the road. Now, what can we see this morning? Prepare to stop. Okay, do not overtake. All right. And what have we got? There's Overwatch again. Is that where I'm supposed to be going? I don't know. All right, so they still haven't put up any signage to say that's where we're supposed to be going. They're just sitting there in the ute, watching people cycle by, going, "Oh, look at all those dummies who have missed the turn off." All right. Oh, no signs in the... Well, at least all the vehicles are going slowly. She's saying the pathway's closed. Sorry, I can't hear you. What? Can't hear you.
Up, but we just got the vehicle.
Well,
which way are you travelling?
That way.
The next exit, you'll be able to get down that way.
Yeah, can you put a sign up to say where to turn?
We haven't got them up there.
Yeah, can you get one?
We've just been caught on the side.
I know, it's been like this since Monday. So how about putting up a sign telling us where we turn onto the path? Because look, you got no signage there saying it's closed.
I know, but that's because the trucks are coming in and out of here.
Well, why is that not blocked off?
Well, because the trucks are coming in and out.
But why aren't you blocking it so I can't ride in there?
At either end.
Yeah, but I can go in there.
Yeah, I know, because the trucks are coming in now. That's why it's left open.
I know it's left open,
yes,
but I shouldn't be able to go in there.
I understand that, sir, but the truck's just left.
But on Monday, we were riding in there. That's where you told us to go.
Not that one you wouldn't have been.
Yes,
that's where the vehicles are.
That's where you told us to go on Monday. You said
So
come.
I went to you Monday.
I rode up there. I rode up there on Monday, and you told me to use this one.
Just so there's no confusion about what happened on Monday, here's the video from Monday. So we rode up to this exact same entranceway or driveway, whatever you call it, and you can see here on the left there's some very clear signage telling us that the path is blocked, and this is where we're directed to go, and you can see a cyclist coming in the other direction who is now going to turn off the path at this driveway. So I don't know what she was saying about us not using this path on Monday, because this is where the path was closed.
Well, go to the next one. It's just down there.
Well, why is there not a sign telling cyclists to go straight ahead?
Where it is.
No, I used this one, and now you're telling me I can't use it.
Yeah, because the excavator's not working right there.
But why is there no signage blocking it off?
Because the signs are blocked up there and up there, sir.
Okay, but this is an intermediate entrance. Why is it?
No, but we generally have the machines coming in and out of here, and people think, okay, I can't go in there.
There's no machinery working, there's no one here.
The truck's just left.
Well, why aren't you standing there with a stop sign telling us not to go in there?
Because you don't have a stop sign on a pathway.
I don't get it.
I know you don't, so you just go up to the next way.
Well, this is why you need signage to explain what to do, because I don't get it. I am so confused. You know, we used this the other day, now you're telling us to go up there, now you're saying this is blocked, but it's open.
It's just been blocked the same way the whole time.
Is this what the traffic management plan says?
No, it doesn't. Because we've just been called out here, because they weren't actually...
So there's no traffic management plan?
Yes, there is a traffic management plan.
Well, what does it say to do here?
We've only just been called out here, because the works weren't on today. And they're like, you've got to go out there. So obviously we don't have the proper signage to say pedestrians go up there.
Okay, so there's no plan, you just...
There is a plan.
But not for today?
There is.
Okay.
But you just go up to the next one and you'll be able to get back on your car.
All right, I'll go up there then. All right. I feel at times
like I'm in a Monty Python skit or something like that. Yeah, the path is open, but it's closed. Yeah, there's a plan, but there's no plan. I use this path and I don't use that path. It's that kind of confusion. Okay, yeah, it's very clear this is blocked off, footpath closed ahead, that's good. So it's very clear, the path is very clearly blocked off on both ends, but why are they letting people go onto the path in the middle and have no signage to tell you where to go?
Now, a proper safety audit might uncover more issues, but I think this is what I think are the issues. Firstly, they were allowing machinery movements around the work site before proper traffic control was in place. I think that's a no-no. There were no signs or personnel blocking access to an active work site. I've never really seen that before, and I hope I never see it again. Now, the ramp was active on Monday, but it was closed on Wednesday. I don't know what was happening to it on Tuesday. It's now Thursday. I don't know what's happening to it today. Is it open some days and closed on others? No clue. But if you're going to have the site closure locations changing day by day, you have to very clearly signpost those changes for the users of the PSP. That doesn't mean, well, look, they had good signage at each end of the closure. I'll give them that. But if you're going to move the closure further down and there's an open ramp, you've got to make it very, very clear that that ramp is not in use. So this is where the wayfinding signage comes in. Initially, there was no wayfinding signage showing the correct ramp to use to rejoin the PSP, and that led to confusion, particularly when the ramp you're using changes, from day to day. And again, remember, this signage was not there on Monday. Now, there were no maps showing the closure and where the detours were going. Now, this is a nice to have. If a work site is going to be active for some time, like a couple of weeks, it'll be good to print some maps off and put them up, on core flutes. It took me about 5 minutes to make up the map that I've showed in this video. It surely wouldn't take them that long to do that, and they could just cable tie them up on a pole. And of course, there were not, after Wednesday mid-morning, there were really good controls in place. I'll give them that. But prior to that, how long were they operating without what I would call proper controls? Was it just from Monday? Were they doing this last week? I didn't ride along here last week. I got no idea how long this was happening for, but certainly, by 11 o'clock on Wednesday when I came back, I think they were operating in a very safe manner and how they should have been operating from day one. So, the question is, why were they not doing that from the very beginning? Having the wayfinding signage out, blocking off the paths that were closed, having, personnel around the place, correct signage, all that kind of stuff. I will leave that up to PTA and hopefully their safety auditors if they've got them, or WorkSafe if they want to have a look. All right, thanks for watching.